what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We're live. We are live. You get it all, the good, the bad, the ugly. Today, we've got a fun episode for you. Got some interesting updates. But starting it off, we're going to talk about how a tourist took a seat on and shattering a Van Gogh chair, kind of continuing a theme that we've recently addressed in the show. I'm not going to say recently. I couldn't find the episode way back in the archive. We talked about this. Also, a mysterious space object is firing signals at Earth every 44 minutes. This isn't a recent phenomena, but the developing science is what just continues to get everybody's attention. And then we're going to be closing it out with a really fun game that I'm excited. I think we've got a great crew to play it today. It's going to be more of like you're all playing against each other, but it's going to also require a little bit of teamwork and building off of each other. So we're going to be ending the game, the episode with the game Down the Wike-Hole. That being said, let me introduce, joining us in the Pickle Gallery, we've got Ricky from Just Another Day TV. We've also got the Cat Corner. We've got Katerina Brainkoff. And joining me as my co-chair, as always, Will Hubert. Now, we can't do it without the man, the myth, the legend on the keys, Dougie Fresh. Let's get it going.
Play it. That was the cleanest intro you've ever done.
Hey,
Woo!
That was sharp, sexy. We did unmute everything. It was great.
That was
I did double check as soon as we started, by the way, to make sure.
Yes, I appreciate it.
I should have been more professional and not brought it up, but that was really good.
Get it where we can.
Yeah.
But we also have, before we dive into the breaking of the Van Gogh chair, we have some updates, really just one big update. We addressed the Labubu craze. And while Labubu is taking over the scene and getting everybody's attention, Barbie's got some things to say.
Is a Labubu. Like, seriously. I've been iconic since freaking 1950s, and y'all are out here thirsting over goblin rats and hoodies.
Okay, it's AI. We got to say that, YouTube will flag it. They got these rules now. That wasn't Margot Robbie. It looked like her daughter. Nope. That was AI, believe it or not. We have a new series on Rethink Actions. Me and Doug have been pulling apart. We started off the first one this past weekend, DC Comics, but we have for the summer it's going to be hilarious, a series of Rethink Action episodes where they're all themed to these AI videos and the things people are creating. Mint. Like I said, the last episode, we watched how somebody did Justice League, but The Office, and Superman is like Michael Scott.
It was hilarious.
It was fantastic. So you got to head over to Rethink Actions to catch up on the fun series of episodes we got coming in the summer. But that being said, let's introduce our first topic of the day. Can you believe this guy? He takes a seat. Do you really think that's for sitting? Destroyed. Gemmed out. Yeah, man, this is here for you.
And that's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Real quick, let's acknowledge the lady he's with. She has the wherewithal to, here we go. She's not sitting on it.
Yes,
make it look like I'm sitting on it. And he...
Now, is there a sign that says don't sit?
No, I did read that there was a sign there saying do not sit. Fragile or something like that.
Okay.
I just want to say this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Ricky, what do you think?
He tried, his weight, his momentum. He didn't have the right squat for him.
Yeah,
he's
the squat form. Yeah, not his weight. So let's give a little bit of a explanation here on top of, So a security camera captured the moment when a tourist broke it's a Swarovski crystal-studded museum display, and it's been dubbed the Van Gogh chair. Let me pull up an image of it. The reason being it mimics, you got to fix that StreamYard.
StreamYard, boo.
It's definitely mimicking it there.
Yeah, it's mimicking a Van Gogh painting. It's supposed to be like this chair. So it's not that Van Gogh ever made a chair. It's that it's to mimic this relic, this famous painting.
And it's crystal studded too.
Yeah. Sexy crystal studded. So, yeah, crystals. The incident occurred in April, but has been circulating on social media just after being released by the Palazzo Mafia Museum, which is located in the Italian city of Verona. The video shows a woman at first pretending to sit in the chair, which was made by the Italian artist Nicola Bolla. Next, her male companion gets into the same pose, only in this case puts full weight on the chair, causing both of the front legs to buckle. I just love the instant of human nature where they both were like, we out of here. And they just book it.
The look between them, it's like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I love that. We can't see, they're all blurred out, but it's like you could tell they looked at each other like, okay, let's get out.
Right. They waited for the staff to leave the room, and then off they went, indifferent to what happened. Sometimes we lose our brains to take a picture, and we don't think about the consequences. But of course, it was an accident, and these two people left without speaking to anybody at the museum. So that part isn't an accident. So, of course, the museum's crying that this is a nightmare. That being said, Doug raises it. I got to be honest with you, this was not going to be one of the topics of today, but we squeaked it in versus another topic. Depending on time, we could pull it in. But the reason I thought it was interesting, Doug pointed out this morning how this was mid-April. This has been circulating now for a couple weeks. We appreciate the power of the human hive when we talk about don't F with cats and how they're able to like triangulate some psycho running around Europe, and they're using the blanket brand, the doorknob type, and yet nobody can figure out who these people are. Still on the run.
Dude,
Bonnie and Clyde.
It makes sense. So remember we did that Rethink Live like about a few months ago. That guy they were never able to identify. Remember?
Yeah, but that was back in the 70s. He's talking about that.
Right. Where the guy
case.
But I'm
like,
just saying,
killed himself.
like, it's Europe. Like, they are horrible at identifying people.
Right.
It does not surprise me.
No, that's a great point. It is, man, interesting.
Like, you would
Wait,
think,
but don't F with cats is a meander trail all across Europe.
yeah, but that's letting individual people do it, not the authorities do
No,
it.
you want to know why I think the deck was stacked against the don't F with cats guy versus these two? Is there's nothing in the third-party museum to track these people.
Right.
You were able to track the guy making those videos in that documentary based off of his home's doorknob, his home's carpet, rug, bed sheet. This is whatever the Amalfi Museum's lobby. So there's nothing that you could use beyond like an identifier on the ticket, which they clearly just have general admission, don't have that.
Yeah, unless they paid with like a credit card, they probably wouldn't be able to get them.
That is interesting.
You know,
that
Yeah,
they weren't able to
right?
follow them through the museum to
now
buy
it'd
a
make more
pop.
sense if it was the Mafia Museum and it was all cash, but it's
Dude,
not.
is it bad that
Right.
when Alex was saying the name, I immediately thought, wait, did he just say Mafia
I
Museum?
actually I'm half blind, so I read it like the Mafia Museum. I was like, they know who these people. They're already dead.
They are swimming with the fishies. No, it's an interesting concept because it also runs parallel to something that we discussed in the past. You know, Doug's Dumps, he gives us all these articles throughout the whole day, nonstop.
Every day.
And
I'm doing my job. My job is to give you news.
Yeah.
All right, remember
We're
I didn't just send you stuff, and then you started saying, "Well, send me stuff. I need topics." I'm like, "Okay."
It's like him with sports betting. Once you open up that door, he's not closing it.
He's not closing
coming
it.
back.
So it's interesting because Doug, this is flagged by Doug's Dumps because this runs parallel to a topic we did in the past, which was two, ironically, Italian boys wrestling around an expensive statue, and the one knocks it over, and it costs potentially the parents over $100,000. And so that was an interesting topic because you're talking about parenting in more ways than we were the act itself.
Right.
Because you look at a juvenile, look at our whole legal system.
Yeah.
It's built on the fact that a minority's brain isn't fully developed. Ergo, the minority the miner's brain is not fully developed, and the miner shouldn't be held to full accountability because they don't have full autonomy over themselves.
Not to mention, too, it caused a whole good conversation on like museum insurance and art insurance and everything, and who pays for what in this case.
You know, Doug, it is interesting you say that because you look at this and you go, if it's so expensive and so important, you didn't think you should protect it just a little bit better?
Well, it's like those, like, again, like I always, it's funny enough, like this topic to me is funny. It's funnier than like the normal, like ones you hear where like, it's the climate activists that'll like super glue their hand to like some priceless art.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
got,
or
like, the
throw
mirror,
paint on it or
but
something.
it's got like the mirror in front of it because they know like some wackadoodle is going to try and do that and like throw paint literally on it. And it's like, one, it's not
like the Mona
actual
Lisa.
thing.
It's totally
It's not the
encased.
actual Mona Lisa, but it's like a duplicate. But it's even that one's got glass in front of it to try and dissuade it. This is just an open chair in the middle. Like, one, they're idiots. Like, it says a sign, like, don't sit. But at the end of the day, like, I could definitely see some being curious and be like, let me just see if I can fit in. Whoa, this kicks back. That's what makes this funny. Like, I find it funny for two reasons. One, he did it.
Yeah.
And two, they know. All right, I understand they can't identify them. They definitely know who these people are.
You think?
Yes.
Oh,
so then
well,
why didn't they get him?
Think about it. Follow him from when he enters the museum to when
The
he
parking
then
lot.
leaves
Yeah.
and goes to his car. Or if you did have to buy a ticket and he
So then,
paid
Doug,
with
explain
credit
your
card.
comment this morning. Why you?
Well, I think it's
I just think
the,
they're not
I think
publicly
it's the
disclosing it.
museums, not because one article I read has said they released this video not to shame the people, but to raise awareness of museum problems or something like that. Was one of the way the articles I read worded it. Because it really, I guarantee they could find out who these people were.
If anything,
And they probably do know. I agree with
Yeah.
Will.
They probably just aren't publicly disclosing it. That's why they still have their faces blurred out.
dox them?
Yeah.
Dox them.
I wanted their credit card. It's
you know, I need to be able to look up where their 13-year-old goes to middle school, or this isn't justice.
you know, like that's why I like it happening in April. I'm sure they're not disclosing it because they probably already had like a settled thing with them privately, and they're just like,
Okay.
you know, it wouldn't surprise me.
So
But
then,
also,
but
just
we don't
based
know
on
for
that
sure.
rethink thing, like we did a few months ago.
but we don't know for sure because my comment, he knows. Doug, we probably spent too much time around each other in this life because Doug knew exactly where I was going with this, which is then Doug inappropriately hijacked today's episode by making this article feel
Well, I'll be
more.
honest. Will turned me with his argument about the credit card and like.
That's what I'm saying. It's
When
like-
it started talking, I was like, I bet like if he did buy tickets, he probably used a credit card. And
But
how hard would
you
it
know
be?
what? I'm going to
Cash,
double
yeah.
down. All right. I tend to be a defender of American tourists. This is not the instinct of an American tourist. I want to say like that's an Austrian
But
or a French in Italy.
They were
And
French.
just think of like Browns games. Like if we go to a Browns game, you have to put in the name of who you are.
Well,
to order
okay.
the
So,
ticket. like
the
I
point
don't
I
know,
wanted to
like-
make was I am a defender of American tourism. I want to believe, and I've been wrong. There's more assholes than not in America, but I want to believe this is a Frenchman in Italy. I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know. I'm going out on a limb. The greater point being, when you go to a museum or on an excursion or on a tour in Europe, 9 out of 10 of those are paid with euros.
Yeah.
You're not paying with a credit card. I try to use
That's-
my credit card more than not. And in this highly digital world, almost 95% of this recent trip to Europe, everything was on credit card.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you reach for euros for ease, or most things are just, I'm going to go with ease. It's easier to use your euros in most circumstances. So then, Doug, I doubled down. I'm having fun. Dead horse. What's one more hit? I'm curious. Then what compelled the comment today They still haven't caught them.
Oh, because the article I sent said at the end that the couple is still unidentified.
They're still at large.
And I couldn't believe
So
that,
then I gotta believe they use heroes.
Son of a bitch, they're going to a different museum next week.
all those chairs better watch out.
Lock
No,
down the
I
Louvre.
love the idea of this guy sitting reading about the chair. Him being dumb enough to actually think Van Gogh made that chair, not it's based off a painting.
Give me,
Sat
honey.
in it, broke it, got up, and he's like, "Man, he sucks as a carpenter."
Yeah.
Shit like that.
I just love they scurry up. And we're out of here.
Oh
I
my!
don't know. Katarina, what do you think?
No, like they're just totally like hit and run, avoiding the scene of the crime. It's hilarious.
It's a hit and run.
It's more like a squat and run.
Yeah.
They got out.
Um,
so
You know what? I think that she was able to actually hold her squat because of those dang Pilates classes she's probably attending.
Wait, have you seen those videos of like women? So you'll get on your knees like a baby's pose. You're
What
sitting
kind
on
of
your knees.
videos?
Yeah, I've
Then
seen
you get
videos
on
like
your
that.
forearms, and when you shut up, and then when you pull your forearms out, a guy doesn't have the muscles to stay
right,
in that
right,
position, and they crash their head.
It's like a hip
But a
flexor
woman
thing.
can pull her front. I think Katarina's onto something.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. What's also interesting, let's just keep piling on, make this a little bit of a denser topic. One of the other topics that I was going to potentially weave into today's episode was how the Louvre is experiencing all this chaos. I regret it being another article within Doug's Dumps. You should have seen him cheering for himself over
That
here.
was me.
We are actually more. We're working harder to avoid Doug's articles
very
now,
reliant
just
on
so
mine.
he doesn't get these moments of "Hey, this is me. This is me." He's talking my article. it
You
kills
make
me.
fun of my dumps, but you use them.
Dude, Doug's Dumb's batting average is like .07, but goddamn, he loves every one of those hits. He loves them. They're a home run each time.
So the Louvre. It's interesting going on in France right now. They are experiencing such high volume at the Louvre that there's this crisis. They literally cannot handle
Like
the
Cassie.
capacity, right? And so now, like the Mona Lisa line is waiting all day, and you still may not even get to see it. Ironically, this comes into my Doug's Dump feed today, and last night I'm cleaning my office like a maniac at 1 a.m. Was listening to Jim Norton had a brand new comedy special, and he does a whole bit on like the Mona Lisa. There's some. I'm gonna save some of the greater points of making fun of the Mona Lisa, but like making this point about how you wait all day to be, and Jim Norton's a short guy, to be 5 people deep jumping for attention to get like a glimpse of this, like you said, painting in 4 inches of bulletproof glass that some blue hair chick just threw paint on. And it's this whole, so it was this close to being a topic today because if you go back, I can tell you which one, episode 6 in 2017, when we just started this podcast, the podcast, not the live show, the podcast, we reported about how the Louvre has signs in Mandarin instructing tourists not to drop trow and dump on the floor because that's such a culture of China. I wanted to grab a clip, reference like this little baby me doing a podcast in my friend's bedroom in Columbus. Like, it was a funny little dialogue. Can you believe I can't find anything on the internet that can confirm or deny if those signs are still there?
Wow.
And I'm going to go on a limb and say if capacity's increasing, I think there's more signs.
There's more signs and more languages.
Alex.
Yeah, but in how many languages
No,
do
just
they need to?
Chinese.
But how many languages do they really need to put that on the side?
No, it's just
You know,
Chinese.
it's just Chinese.
And all the other tourists are just like, that just says young. Little did you know, it says, please don't poop in our museum.
It's like,
the
okay,
greatest museum in
grandma,
the
go to bed. You know?
The greatest museum in the world. And they're like, please, not in the lobby.
Don't.
We have places for that. And they're like,
Bathroom this way. Nah.
nah. Should put that in
I gotta
Chinese.
do it right in front of her. She's gonna watch.
Well, okay, not to relitigate a topic we did way back in the day in 2017. But my sister, when she went to China, okay, so here's a girl that's like in 10th grade, high school, going to China through the school because she learned Mandarin, and she hates it, by the way. Totally opposite from Trey, our friend. Like Trey was like, I'm going to become Chinese. And
He
Allison
is
I will never go back. You can't pay me to go back. I'll never step foot in that country again. We like to travel. I'm like, Allison, I still need to go to, nope. I will never go back there again. Why? Imagine how many times this has to happen to a 15-year-old for them to go, nope, never again. And sometimes you see something once and you're like, yeah. But the fact she goes, people will just stop in the middle of the sidewalk. And then you're like, wait. That's what I stepped in 2 blocks ago? Because it's just everywhere. It's like San Francisco.
That's foul.
Dude, they are animals.
That's so foul.
Dude. And I'm allowed to say that.
The Great Wall of China is 1,000 miles of shit.
She didn't have many good things to say about that one either. But it's just funny because
It wasn't that big.
you can't make my comments look crude when the state itself looks at them as cattle. Like, that's a little more crude. And then we wonder why they're just defecating in the middle of the museum.
Yeah, I'm going to give this guy a pass now.
At least he didn't poop in the chair.
He just is having a long day.
It's just a
I
long
wanted
day.
Dude, can you imagine the amount of weight that chair was actually only able to support for him to sit in and immediately collapse? Because like he's not that big of a guy. Like he's not a thin guy, but it's.
I mean, he's a big boy.
Well,
He's a big
he
boy,
thinks about it and he goes,
dude, that chair.
let's look at that again. He thinks about it. No? All right, going full weight this time. Bump.
Dude,
Immediately.
it's like immediately, dude. That chair broke like
Paper
it was,
mache.
dude. That was like the moss.
That's hilarious.
Moss.
Paper mache. It's cake. Everything's made of cake.
Yeah, honestly, that thing broke so easily. Man.
He
It's like
broke
not a real-
the cake chair with his cake.
Like you would think, like I would look at the person who made it and be like, wouldn't you make it a little sturdier? Because some idiot will try.
Dude,
to sit
he
in it.
made an art piece. He's like, whoa. This is not home goods. They were supposed to put a display up.
He's like, it's made of Legos. That's pretty. That's pretty. That's
Ricky,
pretty
what do
good.
you make of all this?
Art is money laundering, first and foremost.
Oh my god.
And maybe the guy made it out of glue. Because if he had screws in the chair or something, like it would be a little more sturdy. Like maybe just glue together. Like he painted and just glued it, set it. It was never supposed to be touched.
Right. That's what I mean. Like the chair, like how loose it is. It looks like you could literally just go like and just like collapse the whole thing. Like that's how little force it seemed to like take to crumble that chair. And I get it. It's not like a chair, but it's like, I don't know, like make a bigger sign saying, seriously, don't sit in this chair.
Don't even think about it, pal.
Or like have like a gate up in front of it. Be like, don't touch.
Yeah.
Like just don't touch it. Dude, you're telling me one of those people working there, well, maybe they didn't see, but one of those people working there saw the woman fake sit in the chair and they didn't think, they were like, whoa, don't do that.
Don't even breathe on it.
Don't even joke about that, man.
And I think the extra sneaky part is you waited for the security guy to like roam to the next room. It's like me and my sister in Europe, ironically, because you're on a gallivant through town, looking for things to do. Most of it, there's not much to do anymore, especially when you're in Portugal or something. Don't go there. And you're just like, I'm killing. You don't want tourists? I'll help you, Lisbon. They were protesting again today. I'll deliver for you. But
were they? They weren't working?
Yeah, no, they funny. Every day they got that open. My schedule's wide open. And then we wonder why nothing happens in Europe or gets accomplished.
Like finding out some fat ass sat in a chair.
Well, so again, maybe it's because, like Ricky said, I might be a part of the laundering camp too much. I just don't have the eye for it. I don't have the artistic touch. That's right.
That's
the touch of the artism. Yeah, I don't have it because I just, maybe it is money laundering. That's what seems to make the most sense to me. And when we would just stumble into these museums, they're like, there's a Pablo Picasso in here. And you're like, I heard of that when I was like in 3rd grade. I was in an art class where I painted a clay pot, and I know that name. I think this is important. And I couldn't tell you what was what. We just kind of ran through it. It was like, oh, this is the one. And you're like,
Dude,
looks the same as all the rest.
I remember that too, making a clay pot as a kid. Looked like shit.
Yeah, it actually looked like art.
Speak for yourself. Mine didn't look like shit.
Mine looked awful. Mine looked like
Nerd.
Mine looked like the pot of greed Yu-Gi-Oh card, like a disgusting looking pot. It was awful.
But walking through this thing, there was never a point where I was like, yeah, see this art piano? I need to climb on it.
I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, dude, there was this giant throne. And I looked at Allison and I was like, how many people do you think try to climb it? She's like, every day. Every day.
Then you should have just looked at her. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I was about to say, today's the day, girl.
I'm gonna do it. Alexander, stop. Stop. Alexander, don't.
Too late.
I
have a chair.
What I love about you is like at the show, like you're easily like the closest thing to a world traveler we got, maybe with the exception of Katerina now. I've never met a person go to more places he freaking despises. Every other person I know goes to Europe, be like, oh, it was a lovely time. I got engaged. Like, I got to do all this. You'll go to a spot, spend a week there, and be like, that place fucking sucked, dude. Like, more people who've done that.
I love that.
I am a true blood American.
Like, you'll go somewhere and be like, this place sucks compared to home. I've never heard you breathe. I never heard like a round trip where it'd be-
Italy.
No.
Just don't sit in there's chairs. Italy, I'd go back to.
Yeah.
Spain, Portugal, you could miss those.
Like everybody, I had 2 friends. I went to Rome and Italy. Both were great. It's like I had a buddy who went to Italy too. Then he went someplace else and spent a ton of money to do it.
Yeah, Lisbon, you had a request I am delivering. You don't want us touring? We will refrain. But I guess Vienna had something to say. It's like, all right, well, we might have a little bit of a fight. You got good food.
The food alone was worth the trip.
All right, we need to land this plane right into the museum. All right, Ricky, what are your rapid thoughts?
Easy wording it like that, partner.
Hey, listen, this isn't India. We're talking about Europe. Totally different place. Rapid thoughts.
I never want to go to Europe. It doesn't look great to me. I only want to go to Paris. I said this numerous times on the show. Just to say, niggas in Paris. That's it.
Dude, even
That
looks
guy
like
is stupid.
glasses on.
He probably hadn't hit a squat in like 10 years. So I don't know why he would try that.
Wait, can we
That's
get
right.
Will to repeat his point? Can you go ahead, repurpose that one, serve it back to me?
He's looking like Kanye. He's wearing glasses.
No,
inside.
what Ricky said. I want you to serve it back up.
Don't
No,
be the
reverse.
key, bro.
no.
But I said he probably hadn't hit a squat in 10 years. I don't know why he would try it. You know, so he's
Good
like
point.
stand next to the chair
Oh,
or
valid
something.
point.
Like, bro, you sat there, you checked because you was trying to see how close he was because he was about to tip over. You should have stand up at that point. So
Ricky, you just reminded me a question I want to throw to the room. Ricky said it earlier. He's like, he didn't put screws in it. It was just some glue, some tape, whatever. Just hold it together. He wasn't building a chair. First thing I thought of is, wouldn't it be okay? This is the lawyer in me. I just sit here and go, wouldn't it be just a little bit spicier and a lot more fun if there was just one stray screw that just pierced him? And it's like, oh, now we got a totally different situation. And you can't just sneak away. It's like you now have a medical liability issue and you're fully liable. And you now owe the museum tenfold more.
That's
how
what I mean.
old is
That's
the
why
tier?
I truly think they know who these people were and they settled it privately. And then they put the video out and be like, hey, just like, be careful. Some things like this could happen. I I don't know. I think they do know who these people are.
You're
They
probably
just-
right.
That's why they blur
I
their
hope
face.
you're right.
Because like in America, they don't blur faces out for shit. They're just like, look at this idiot.
Look at this guy. Catch him. Find him.
Yeah,
Find his
what?
family's home.
I have never seen a more cultural like hive mind of like get him when you see a video on the internet. in this
America.
country.
Yeah. Ricky, what were you going to say?
How old is the chair?
It was,
Yeah, that's a good question, actually.
Fairly
to my
new.
understanding, relatively new. Not a decade old.
Well, it's
You
newer
know.
now.
Oh, so no,
Yeah.
no
And
rusted
it's-
nails. Because if you would have got screwed, you need a tetanus shot. You know what I mean? Like,
That's what I'm
so-
saying.
Yeah.
The sick part of me was like, man, if we had a medical emergency on top of this would have been a soap opera. But now we just have a little tragedy in a museum in Italy.
Dude, the way they filmed that thing with their faces blurred out was like damn near the same equivalent of like the people on January 6th, just like kind of walking in.
Even more so, it was like Otto Warmbier stealing a painting in North Korea. It's like the blurry, omniscient figure at the end of the hallway stole the poster. Woo! Turn him into a vegetable.
That's what they're doing to these people. That's why we don't know who they are.
I have sentenced you to a hard life of labor in North Korea. He's the only one that's doing this thing. We're shipping you to him. We have rights.
We actually
here.
have this sick contract with them. They kind of take idiots like you.
All right, Katarina, flipping it to you. Do you have any wrapping thoughts on the whole museum?
You know what? I just want to remind everybody to watch Night at the Museum again if you want to ever find out what happens at a museum at night.
And now at night, the chair just hobbles like, help me. Help me.
My leg!
Yeah, the ghost of Robin Williams is walking around and just Teddy Roosevelt.
Did you see what they did to the chair? My wrapping thought is it's one thing to have an entire episode dialogue about, I don't know, kids being reckless and stupid, but it's a whole nother world when adults become reckless and stupid. I love Brad Richardson. We should be touring the world with Silent. I know we'll be having collab situations happen. We'll make it happen. But
look at his comment above it.
I know. Don't talk about my fat ass breaking chairs. I like this. That's only Diddy's chair. He watched Cassie and
Oh my God.
That's why you can't do that stuff in America. Like you'll live in infamy. Like these people will be on billboards.
exactly.
Like
Again, they're like you said, they're not only blurring it for the sake of them in Europe. It's we can't even let it. We're in charge. This is an Italian court, but the court of a public opinion being dictated by those rowdy Americans, that's way worse for
Oh,
you than
yeah.
anything we could do.
We would go out of our way to find those people.
Twitter alone is a death sentence worse than anything Italy could do to you.
Oh yeah, Italy was merciful. Honestly, they handled this situation very well. Even if they don't know who did it, they're like, who cares? Just build the chair,
Let him-
build it back up, bring in Palazzo or whatever his name was, and just have him. Doop, 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 doop.
Do you have any other wrapping thoughts?
That was it.
I like it. Doug, wrapping thoughts.
I think it's hilarious. This guy, like Katarina said, tried to do his first squat in probably a decade on a price list, or maybe it has a price, but a work of art. Of all times, he tried to test his squat ability. It was then.
Yeah, I know how they say art is priceless, but I highly doubt that.
That one had a
museum was
price.
incapable of putting a price on it.
Yeah. I think they were able to find one quickly.
50,000 will make this go away.
Yeah.
No, but like Ricky said, we can't gloss over the stronger point about art. Art is money laundering. So they were like, all right,
Yeah.
Bob, how much did it cost you? Well, in labor, which is just a fictional number I can make up, and the paper mache, like the actual material,
And the
It
mental stress it now put on me knowing
it
that
cost
my
me
work-
about 20,000. The museum goes, all right, well, we'll make it like 50,000. And now, because we're going to insurance, we're able to do the ×3 equation. You know, just every time the piece of art transfers hands, the person writing the number on the piece of paper of value gets the ×3, triple points. And that's how art works. It compiles on itself, even though it's just a fictional number.
Like I said, they did it smart. They're just like, just let it go under the rug. We'll get some money out of it. The court
That's
of
it.
public opinion will murder these people. It'll be all right.
We'll get you off with a warning.
Poor guy just wanted to take a seat. The whole internet's gonna have a field
I
day.
really got to ask the old guy, because this is a boomer, clearly. Was the Facebook post that was going to resonate from that important?
Yes.
Was it that worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
They
No.
believe every dude. There, boomers out there right now are watching AI videos, believing it. Believing it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. All right, let's segue to our last topic here. That way we can get to our closing game, because I think that's going to be the most fun for everybody locked in today. So our next topic is discussing a mysterious space object that is firing signals at Earth every 44 minutes. A crazy phenomenon that scientists are trying to figure out and understand.
Dude, this is like the beginning to the plot of Independence Day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Just buckle up, Buttercup.
It's only like a couple of weeks until Independence Day,
Yeah,
too.
Jeff
so-
Goldblum right now is waiting to say
Oh, no, just Will
checkmate.
Smith. He's like, I'm going to stop slapping. I did make a new song. I'm going to stop slapping.
Dude,
just so I
that
can get
song-
ready.
an alien.
That song sucked. It's so bad.
It's so corporate generic.
It's
Like-
like, what happened?
A lot.
What happened to him?
Girls. Dude, tell me more you're trying to compensate for the fact that you're gay.
Oh, yeah.
Girls. What happened to women? Why is everybody obsessed with That's an old world type deal. Anyway, a mysterious space object is firing signals at Earth every 44 minutes. Out in the cosmic wilds of our galaxy, some 15,000 light years
There we go.
from our collective home, astronomers have found something that behaves like a galactic lighthouse. It's called ASKAP J1832-0911. I'm calling it ASCAP. And whatever it is, it sends out a pulse of blink or signals, whatever you want to call it, every 44 minutes, like it's trying to reach out in Morse code, but very slowly. Discovered with Australia's ASCAP radio telescope, the peculiar beacon emits 2-minute-long pulses of both radio and X-rays. That's rare. The only reason we even noticed this extraterrestrial signal playing on 2 channels was just dumb luck. NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory happened to be scanning the exact same patch of sky at the exact same time. It's like tuning into an episode of I Love Lucy in 1953 and finding out it's being a simulcast with Dolby Atmos. These signals belong to a class of space stuff. I love that. That's a professional scientific term. A class of space stuff called long period radio transients, or LPTs, about which we know very little. Having only discovered them in 2022, they're kind of like pulsars, which are those rapidly spinning neutron stars that shoot energy beams from their poles. But instead, in milliseconds between pulses, LPTs take minutes or even hours to pulse again. So far, scientists have only detected about 10 LPTs, and this is the first time one has shown up on both radio and X-ray instruments. According to Zeiting, we're going to call him Andy Wang, the Curtin University, that's what he goes by. He chose it. I love the foreigners in America. They get to just pick a name. Andy Wang, the Curtin University astronomer, leading the research published in Nature, the overlap was a fluke. Quote, it felt like finding a needle in a haystack, especially when you consider Chandra's narrow gaze compared to ASCAP's panoramic space sweep. As for what this thing actually is so far, the answer is just a shoulder shrug. The original theory was that it might be an ultra-long period magnetar, but that theory's on shaky legs, leaving ASCAP's J1832-0911 as yet another in a long line of intriguing space mysteries. Like so many of these other mysterious space signals that have been detected in recent years. So, guys, is this telling us that we're not alone? You know, so give you an idea, this is what it looks like. We're talking about the one dot amongst the super many dots. And, you know, they're painting this type of picture, that it is some sort of conscious signal being sent out to us. And here's a more detailed look of what? I can't tell the right side of this picture from the left side. All I do know is somebody took a red highlighter and highlighted one of the star dots.
Just was like, where was it? He just grabbed the marker.
Yeah. Right here. So it's an interesting concept. What I'm most intrigued about, why this is such a phenomena, is like, what a fluke that you found it. Mm-hmm. That it's kind of doing a multi-wave. So X-ray and the fact that it's coming almost consciously every 44 minutes, for 2 minutes long. Is this a volcano, some super space volcano miles away? Or is this a satellite, something shooting, projecting at us? As we go more microscopic and we learn more macroscopic, like think about this entire line of science only developed and beginning to understand, or literally just learning, not understanding, just knowing its existence in 2022. What are we scratching the surface of? And then this shakes the whole reality that people have kind of harbored their entire existence on. What does it mean for a God when the Bible and its understanding, there is no dreidel chosen people. There are no biblical heavenly folks. We are a dot amongst. Does that shake the inquiry of this religious bedrock to our existence, or is it just another chapter in something we already know? Let's go down the ringer. What do you think, Will?
I mean, personally, for me, like, I am under the belief that we aren't alone in the galaxy. Like, just it's too vast, too big for us to be the only living organism capable of communicating, or the potential for travel to the ethos.
Right.
But what I will say is, in our lifetime, I'm going to make a hot take here. I'm going to say by the end of our life, we are going to be 4 to 5 generations away from actually having consistent communication with other beings out there.
I love, Brad Richardson. You're probably right. And, Brad's here to confirm it. Aliens are here. They're watching Silence stream, this podcast, and all the X videos lingering around. But this one geeked me out. Aliens got dial-up. Aliens only got dial-up.
Well, Will, I gotta agree with you with you're talking about, like, couple generations
are sexting each other.
Only because, Will, in Star Trek, in April 5th, 2063 is the date of first contact in Star Trek. So it's like, man, that's only
I do have a feeling,
40
I
years
would
away.
say, like, by the end of our life, like, our not grandchildren, but like our great grandchildren, they're probably going to have some form of communication with an outside.
Oh, I think it'll be before that.
I'm just.
You don't
I'm
think
just playing
we'll see it?
No, I don't think so.
How exciting,
What I'm
like,
saying is, here's what I'm saying. I'm saying is maybe by the end of our life, like our time, like Doug said, in 2060, if say we live to be like into our 80s, 90s, I'm sure we will receive some form of communication.
Well, 2060 isn't like
that's. I'm gonna be
wouldn't
alive
be
for that.
that old.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm saying. Again, Doug, you're going off of just a Star Trek date. It could happen in 10 years.
I like
from
to
now.
believe
it could
it's
happen
right.
in 50 years from now. But I'm saying in
But
some
Star
point,
Trek
in
did
some
say-
point in our life, we will receive some form of communication that we can also give something back. But I would say in like 4 to 5 generations after us, it'll be like, oh, that'll be the expedition to find something.
Oh, have you guys
actually, like, push
watched
further.
3 Body Problem on Netflix? That's about like sending and receiving signals with aliens, and then they end up coming to Earth, like to scout us and stuff. Oh, it's a great show on Netflix. while
I
we're
will
talking
say,
about
though,
this.
there is one thing concerning about the ASCAP's name is that it ends with 9/11, and there's something like really threatening behind that. I'm not a fan of that part. Just switch it up. Switch it up a little bit. Make it like 12:25. Christmas is fun.
1225. Long period radio transients. Okay, so here's this concept of radio waves that we only discovered in 2022.
Yeah.
So I look at this and I start thinking, okay, we didn't even in 2021, we didn't even know this existed.
Right.
In 2025, we are reading it.
Yeah.
At some point, we're going to be communicating back. And I think this whole, along with, dude,
Well, that's if it's actually...
imagine having a record of this for 5 years.
Yeah.
Then you can plug that in AI and it can calculate a language.
Mhm.
What were you gonna say, Doug?
Well, I was going to say, like, everything you just said, yes, I agree. If it actually is some sort of communication, because it could just be some sort of natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know?
So like there's
like
like
that
that,
point.
idea of it, but if we're able to receive signals like that, and it is a race in discovery. It's been 3 years and it looks like we're making progress. That's why I do believe like in the next 40 to I'd say 80 years, we will
So
be able to receive some form of trick. Because I fully like, again, I'm a religious person. I believe in faith and all that, but I'm also not like an ignorant person to like modern science and stuff like that. Like I'm fully in the belief that there are other conscious organisms out there looking to and trying to
a
find
big
ways to
universe,
receive
man.
messages and give off messages and blah, blah, and eventually in a couple other generations do interplanetary travel.
no, I completely agree. Not to leave, Doug raises a good point, and I'm going to bring it back to the natural phenomena consideration. So that we're going to leave that hanging Chad sit there for a second. So, Katerina, what are your thoughts on this whole phenomenon?
I want alien friends. I feel like that would be cool. Like we
You
should
got one
explore
right
this.
behind you. Look.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking
There.
of aliens.
There's your alien friend.
Yeah.
Dude,
So okay, on behalf of all the aliens, I think that we should be friends and that we can learn a lot from each other. To be honest, we could probably learn a lot more from them than they could from us. But I think it's possible. And like on a real note, like also because even though like I've studied science as well as like I am a woman of faith and I believe in God and like different things and like I know the universe is vast and all these things, I feel like of course it's possible. And not only possible, but I feel like more likely than not that there is life out there. And it's pretty exciting that we may be on the cusp or on the verge as a society, like whenever that will happen, to discover that. So I am looking forward to just, discovering that. I just hope that it's also like not to our detriment and that it can just benefit us. But I feel like if it was to our detriment, they could have killed us and exterminated us by now anyway. So
It just reminds me of like Mars Attacks. You guys ever seen that movie?
Yeah.
It's like Mars Attacks, and it's like immediately out comes the ship as like baby Yoda, right? And just like he like misinterprets one thing, and they just start killing us all. And
Yeah.
it's just like again, 4 or 5 generations past of us. That could be my great grandkids' problem. I don't care. I'm not here by then. But like, there is like also in my head, it's like to our detriment. It's like probably. If you show up here, you're showing up here. And also another movie, one of the coolest ones. Obviously Arrival, but I always think of like the Superman movie with Henry Cavill and General Zod shows up and the way they do like their transmission.
Yeah,
It, like,
so
completely,
creepy.
It like completely like cuts out all of our communication. And then he like comes on the TV and he's like channeling in like every different language, like it's going like over the world and stuff. And it's like, yeah, no, if something were able to come there, like if we were, like I'm thinking like if we were to visit a planet, we would be able to study that planet long enough to understand like there's multiple different dialects that go on there, like different languages and stuff. We would want our message to be universally heard. We would be able to give it in all those different dialects. So I always thought that was like an interesting way of like going about it. But
That's
like as
actually
of
a
right
great
now,
point.
where we're at in modern technology, it's just potentially just a Morse code kind of conversation starter.
Doug, what were you gonna say?
No, that's a great point though about like all the different languages at one time. Like you would have to study to know like how many languages do we even have on this earth, man? I mean, God, like that's a great point, Will. And I love that you did the Superman as your
It's
point
one of the
too.
coolest scenes. It's one of the coolest scenes.
Well, that being said, I'm hearing you go, you made the point, and I appreciated the point you made, but the way you started it triggered a different thought in my head where you were like, Doug talked about that movie. That was good, but what was also a good movie? And a comment that needs to be made flat out is how sad is it? This is a pursuit of academics, knowledge, truth, challenging your understanding of the world around you. How sad is it that the entity we give tax dollars to that makes the false claim that they are on that pursuit, our academic system, and we know through Roswell and the Freedom of Information Act what's going on in Area 51. Look at Commander Fervor and all these other commanders coming out of the military exclaiming how this has been a part of our scientific understanding as a government, as a country. This has been K with a capital K knowledge. This stuff exists. This is their science. This is the extent it goes. And us laymen that have put blind faith in them being truthful, honest, a guiding light in knowledge. The only thing, when this isn't fiction, folks, this is real life. When the scientists are explaining X-rays and radio waves in a phenomenon that's coming in pulses at 45 minutes apiece, lasting 2 minutes on the dot every time, it's a spot, it's a location, ASCAP, J8, we got it. This is it, replicable. And when we throw it to the public, a group of mindful laymen, the only thing we have to draw upon is fictional stories, movies, books, TV shows. Our education system has robbed us to such a degree that when we have a finally real scientific moment, the only thing we as honest humans have to draw upon is fictional, fabricated CIA stories.
I think also a part of it too is, and I don't disagree with your point, but I think it's like in the reality of it, Discovery isn't as exciting as it is in the movies. Like at the end of the day, like it's,
you know what? Because the discovery comes with the explosion.
right? It's like
That's a good point.
you know, it's more like oh, like at this point in time, like we could make a bold claim that we have received a message from a different life form.
Right.
Like that is, it could be a phenomenon, but it could also be a direct message from another life form. And all it is just like a Morse code beep, right? And it's not as exciting as, you know, Mars Attacks and the little aliens just kind of, you know, they're talking over with a walkie-talkie and then they just go and just start shit. Like it's not as fun. But and that's the reality to the fiction part of it. So, you know,
Brad Richardson has just been on a heater. It's a rap album, ASCAP 1832 EP.
it's just like it reminds me of like then Smiling Friends and like they get abducted by aliens. Right? Yeah, like it's like, but it's like we as people get to have that fun with our imagination and kind of let it run with it. When in the reality of it is just like, yeah, no, it is a very long. Like Star Trek, like Doug made a good comparison. Like it is like a slow process. This isn't quick. You don't know. It could take decades for us to even be like, what were they saying? Hey, or the whole time it's an SOS, and we're like, oh, that's far off.
How about this? Yeah, that's far off. Let's just say, roll with me here. They are 1 million light years away.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that means Signal 1 was sent 1 million years ago. And it took 1 million years to get over here. Then, by the time it got here, I'm like smashing rocks. And so it's just going past us.
Right.
Then it took another 3,000 years for humans to get the technology to read it. And they sent it 3,000 years ago, 1 million years before that. And and all the message is, so it took us 3,000 years. But it took 1 million years to get there. And what they were trying to tell us is in 1,400 years, your planet's going to get hit by a meteor. And before we could get it done in the next 100 years, the meteor's going to hit us.
Yeah. So like, that's kind of the funny part. I'm just like as you said that, like just a bit keeps running in my head. Like we're smashing rocks or whatever. And then we get the whole time it just starts, hey, no. It's just, hey. Hey,
Every 44 minutes.
And then after a while, after like 3,000 years here, hey, dumbass. Hey, dumbass. Hey, dumbass. Like it just gets louder.
Monkey, wake up, cave brain.
Yes, that is deodorant. Dumbass. Like, it's just like that.
Did you have to do that to Japan?
Then finally we send one back. Next message. Finally.
Yeah.
You know, that's
all right. Now I have a banging brownie recipe. All right. Ricky's been sitting
incredible
in the back burner for a fat minute. Ricky, what do you make of this scientific phenomenon?
I like your movie plot. I love it. But what if they're actually trying to send signal to the aliens in the water
They probably are.
Atlantis.
Dude, see, CIA fictional movies. Ricky, that's a movie prop.
I'm just saying. They say
think
there's
Ricky's right.
alien in the ocean.
Oh my god,
Godzilla's
no,
here
that's
to-
literally the plot of Star Trek, was it 4?
Yeah, with
Where
the whales.
they're
Dude,
trying
it's
to contact
literally-
whales,
No, it is.
exactly.
That is
It's
right.
literally the plot of Doug's life. They've been communicating with his lizard parents this whole time.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, Godzilla's down there right now, going like, all right, I think that guy up there is onto something. I might go say hello.
Godzilla.
Or it can just be some rebels in rebel aliens, like just sending out signals to us, like, yo, we're here, and they're not supposed to.
All I know is Ricky's not afraid, according to his shirt.
Ricky's definitely outside
Ricky's
right
not
now.
afraid.
Not afraid, Ricky.
Ricky's gonna be outside for that one.
That's why he's got those shades on.
As Brad said, they better bring that space dust. I won't do no
Yeah.
space dust with them, but I'll do some moon rocks. You know what I mean? We roll on that moon rock. You know what I'm saying?
Wait. Where'd it go? That one. Whoa.
Whoa.
There it is. Aliens better bring me some space kush.
Bring out the spice.
Doug's like, I've got moon rocks, and he's like, no, dude, we really smoke moon rocks.
Yeah, Ohio sells moon rocks.
Pulls out a spoon.
Yeah. So let's kind of bring it to some closing points here. Ricky, get off the screen. You're selfish.
No, nothing's on the screen.
Now it's just been okay. It was the aliens.
But
But
they don't like shut this down.
Yeah.
as I had indicated, we've had a little bit of a hanging chad. As far as my take goes, I do think this is within more of the natural phenomenon type of scenario. ASCAP J1-832-0911 is almost certainly a natural phenomenon, likely a compact stellar remnant, the magnetar, the white dwarf binary, or something new, with unusual properties. Its discovery highlights gaps in our understanding of stellar evolution and high energy astrophysics, which is exciting because it pushes the boundaries of science. The synchronized radio and X-ray pulses and their slow periodicity are unprecedented, but they fit within the realm of extreme cosmic processes rather than artificial constructs. The serendipitous detection of by the ASCAP and Chandra underscores how much we still have to learn about our galaxy. I mean, imagine how much more of these exciting coincidences are just going unnoticed. So future observations, possibly with the James Webb Space Telescope or the Square Kilometer Array, could refine measurements of its magnetic field, size, or temperature, helping to pin down its nature. For now, it's a cosmic pulse that invites more study, not a sign of alien life. That said, keeping an open mind is key. Ruling out extraterrestrial origins entirely would be as premature as endorsing them without evidence. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. Katarina, do you have any wrapping thoughts on our whole little fun alien consideration?
I just think that if we're going to be investing so much like of the resources and budget and like research and improvement and investigation here on Earth, then why don't we venture out a little bit further out into the space? Obviously, like I know that like there is a lot of research already on space, but I think they should, keep exploring it as much as we can. But maybe technology also has to advance with that to make that more possible.
So true. So true. Ricky, any wrapping thoughts?
Why can't we go back to the moon?
Because
It's made of cheese.
Because we
It's
saw
made of
Optimus
cheese.
Prime up there and we got scared.
because we lost the urge to when we beat Russia.
Because Lance Armstrong was on steroids. Oh wait, it was Neil.
Is Doug a part of the three-letter agency?
But
Such a
someone
fucking-
just tried to land on the moon and they couldn't.
Yeah. And they're like, you know what? We're going to go 3 planets further. We're going to Mars.
They were up in the spacecraft, not landing, and they just threw the American flag down. Just watch it impale on it.
You
I would
missed.
say let the aliens come to us, get back to the moon, and planet hop. But let them come to us.
Let it hop like it's bar hopping.
And then I have one more thing to say.
Please.
I am still upset at these so-called wannabe astronauts that Jeff Bezos took up that I feel like the aliens are laughing down at us because they were in orbit for what, like 7 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, less than.
And I just and then Katy Perry, I know that we talked about that another time, and that Katy Perry was like, I put the ass in astronaut, and it's just like aliens are probably looking down on us every day and just shaking their damn head like our guardian angels are.
They just like looked down and they were like, wow, skill issue. And
Well, and to Katerina's point, one of the things that has kind of been brought up in my head a couple times throughout our dialogue, and we keep venturing away, we got to be reminded, why does Joe Rogan name his theaters within the comedy mothership, his comedy club? Why are the two theaters, Big John and Little Boy or whatever they are, the two atom bombs we dropped on? Like, that's crazy. Think about that. The two names of the theaters are the atom bombs we dropped on Japan. Big Boy and Little John or whatever.
It's almost like we signaled to outer space.
Well, no, the theory that Joe Rogan definitely clings to more than any of the other theories, he truly believes that because there's some validity to it. A majority of the UFO sightings and all of these types of reports by citizens and these phenomena we were experiencing on Earth all started to really uptick around the time we dropped the atom bombs. So the belief is that when we dropped the atom bombs, it caught the attention of global or intergalactic overseers, those that have, what if this is, maybe it is God's experiment, maybe it's some aliens experiment, and they've got some monkeys on a planet that they're just watching and they're observing us socially, scientifically, all of this. And the second we almost blew ourselves to oblivion, they were like, all right, we got to go in there and referee this shit or they're going to kill themselves. So I do think that might be a player here. So as Katerina kind of glosses over the point, I do think we're catching their attention.
Can I make one point, though?
Go ahead,
if they were looking at us and they were like, we got to step in. Well, then they would give us the technology for nuclear fusion, which is clean burning energy without the nuclear waste that comes with nuclear fission.
See, I don't think they would do it that
Wait, what's your inquiry? What's the question?
You said it's like, we caught their attention. It's like, we got to intervene in this stuff. Well, if they really want to intervene, they would give us the technology to do clean energy nuclear fusion, which doesn't produce the nuclear waste that nuclear fission does.
All right. Well,
that's my thought. It's like if they saw that and they wanted to intervene, they'd give us that, because then we wouldn't have the technology to make the nukes, which comes from.
I also don't think they'd want to completely directly intervene, show themselves like that. Like, I think part of the experiment would be like they need to figure it. Like, it's the idea of the pyramids, to go back to the pyramids.
But it's been 60 years since then. If they wanted to poke at us,
okay. I mean, they're about to start poking at us pretty soon. It sounds like if we're not watching the news.
There's a lot of evidence out there that this is a realm that was populated by more intelligent beings than us. Right. And something happened to them. It probably was us. We probably did blow ourselves to oblivion and we restarted the whole thing over again.
That's like Battlestar Galactica. Literally the plot of Battlestar
Galactica.
Dude,
this is a damn shame. Doug has yet to reference a single textbook. I want that to be a very real point I am making in this dialogue.
Because what textbook talks about humanity blowing themselves up and starting over again? Yeah, that's a shame of textbooks, Doug. That's the point I'm making. You bring up Star Trek one more freaking time. I didn't bring up Star Trek.
We're not having a scientific talk.
That was Battlestar Galactica.
Guess what? I want you to know, to me, it's all the same. It's all the same.
It's me, Spock, Luke Skywalker. They're the same guy.
Starbuck.
It's but I do believe that there is some intervention, but I don't think they've us at the point to where they would want to get directly involved in the way, Doug, that you mentioned.
I agree.
But
especially if they're living among us.
Right. Yeah. They could already be here.
Like the Skrull.
Like Nancy Pelosi. Sorry.
Aliens are like tech support, never there when you need them. They gave us the technology, but they aren't there to do the support.
It's the lizard people. They're hiding amongst us, Alex.
Yeah.
Brad is straight up nailing
Brad-
today's
Brad-
episode.
Brad he saw the headlines and he was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good.
I'm cooking.
This is gonna
Cooking.
be good."
Brad, you better be here for this competition at
He's
the
just
end
like,
of this
"Screw the
episode.
Middle East. Let's talk about this stuff."
I already got it figured out.
He's like, "This is the real stuff."
My roommate is the lizard. No, I'm the lizard. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. Doug, please, if you could avoid any mention of Star Trek with your wrapping thought, can you do it?
Mention it. Mention Star
I definitely think there are like things out there. I don't even want to say like life forms because like there's sentience out there in some form. I believe it. I mean, it's a big universe. We are literally a small galaxy or solar system within a galaxy. Like it's huge. It's a huge universe. So I do believe there's some out there. I don't think this necessarily is anything. Like it could be a natural phenomenon that we're just now realizing, you know? So I don't really think it's aliens yet, but I do think there is probably something out there. I mean, it's a huge place.
I agree. And it's very difficult to believe we're here alone. So it's something exciting, whether it's coming from some planet volcano or it's actually coming from a satellite that's changing up the game.
Right on.
But I'm with Brad Richardson. Let's go. I want an alien.
Yeah, I don't want a Labubu. I want an alien.
All right. Let's get to our game. This one I'm very excited for. It's a little bit tricky. So you all are competing against each other. So in the room with me, I got Will, I got Doug, I have Katarina. We also have Ricky playing remotely. Brad Richardson's here. He's here with us. So he isn't necessarily playing in the same capacity that could benefit you all, but it would help if you kind of peruse the comments. He may be throwing out some assistance. So with all that being said, we're playing the game down the Wike-Hole. So I have it's a human being. Okay. I have a human being.
Okay. Human being.
Dead, alive, is who knows? We are going, I picked a person. Then I went to their Wikipedia page and I clicked 5 pages away. Okay. So I am 5 pages away from the person you are trying to guess.
Okay.
Each round, we are going to walk our way back to that person to see who can guess who it is first.
Now, go question before you get into it. You're 5 pages away. Are you just going to say what the page was?
I'm going to bring up the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
So we're starting at 1 page and we're going 5 pages across to the person. So the first one I'm going to show you is the farthest from the guy or female or dead person, who knows? And we are going to slowly get back to that person. Now, each round, you can either take a guess at who you think it is and steal the point, or you can ask a yes or no question.
Nor.
Yes, I said it like an Australian. A yes or no. A yes or no question to get some hints and clues as to try to guess who it is. So it'll take the first round to kind of get a feel for where we're at. So I'm going to go Will, I'm going to go Doug, I'm going to go Katarina, and then I'm going to go Ricky. So here's the first.
That ain't fair. You saved the black man for last, but it's cool. We gonna take it.
Well, I gotta
Best
be
for
honest
last,
with you.
baby.
I was
you.
about to say, I actually feel like you have the strongest spot because you get to hear everybody's guesses.
I'm screwed. It could be
I
like
like
the
being in
French
the middle.
Revolution. It could be some guy.
You got to
200 years
remember
before.
the true second class citizen.
Bro, I gotta
It's the
play the
ginger.
victim card.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
gotta play where you can.
Yeah.
All right, so getting into the game, the farthest wiki page from the person you're trying to guess is Slam Dunk. We're walking it back from Slam Dunk. All right, so going to Will, you can either guess a person and try to steal the point or ask a yes or no question.
Okay, could this not be the yes or no question about the ask, though? Just real quick. If I guess a person, am I done guessing?
For this round, we're doing
Okay.
5 roundabouts. You
So
can
slam dunk is the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
Is it LeBron James?
It is not LeBron James.
Okay.
Doug, you could either do a yes or no question to get a clue, or you could try to guess at who the person is.
So if I do a yes or no question, I don't get to guess.
You could go, is the person dead? And I would say whatever it is.
But then I lose my chance to actually
guess it. Right.
All right. I am going to go. I'm going to make a guess. Screw it. Slam dunk being the first page. I'm going to assume it is the first slam dunk champion of the NBA, which is Larry Nance Sr.
Beautiful guess. Not it.
Damn.
I did like that. I like that.
Yeah,
thank you.
That was pretty good.
Grounded
So-
in logic. So, Katerina.
What are we supposed to be like?
I have a person.
Obviously, we're
You're trying
picking
to
a place,
guess who the person is.
but
And
like
my clues to you are the Wikipedia
just
pages.
slam dunk. That's it.
We are 5 pages away from this person's starting Wikipedia page.
Okay.
There's a Wikipedia page with this person's name. I'm 5 pages away.
Okay.
Do you want to ask a yes or no question to get a clue, or do you want to take a guess?
Allen Iverson.
You guys are fake. Just so you know, the this first one is going to be so far away from where you're at. You should probably try to garner clues so you could have, I don't know, somewhat
But it
of a
doesn't
leg.
matter.
I
You're going to go to the
felt
next
confident.
Wikipedia page anyways. We're just
Right.
going to inch closer.
Oh, good point.
But I
Right.
felt confident in my guess at least. Like
Yeah.
I felt
Doug,
confident.
you're the
in it.
only one grounded in logic. I'll give it to you. Will, we're going 1 page closer now to the mystery
Wait,
person.
gotta
you
go.
didn't
Ricky
go to
gotta go.
Ricky. You didn't go
Oh,
to
yeah.
Ricky.
Well, he's a second-class citizen. He doesn't even count.
Oh my God.
He said it, not me. Okay, Ricky, give me your guess. Or
Does
guess,
this person
or ask a question.
Dude, guess a person just to piss him off.
I don't care.
does this person have to do with basketball?
What?
Oh, that's actually probably good.
No.
I was gonna say, like, that's actually probably a good question.
Damn. It actually kind of throws the whole train. No, I'm just kidding. All right, going on to the next one here. Will, you can either take a guess or ask a question for a clue. The next one is basketball. You might want to ask a question. Considering Ricky set you all up in a stronger
set me up
position.
really well. You couldn't have asked a better question.
Yeah.
Is this individual alive?
He is alive.
Okay. Doug.
I fucked that up. Gave you 2 answers there. if you're good at logic statements. Yeah, fuck you, Doug.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't supposed to tell everybody, Doug.
Hey,
All right,
this
Doug.
is a
Well,
team effort.
Are
We're
you-
in this to beat
Wait,
you.
but no, you have to steal the point from one of these.
Listen, I'm fine with stealing points. I just want us collectively as a 4 to be smart enough to get it.
yeah, that's right.
That's
Kind of
really
where
what
I'm
I'm
at.
This is more of like a think piece.
All right, so Doug.
Yeah.
Were you gonna?
No, I mean, like, obviously it would be a he. Like, what do we think? The girls are
That's-
dunking?
yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
what I'm
sorry.
saying. This is
I'm
the
a
world
girl.
of
I
Pinot
played
Dark.
basketball,
It's
but,
the-
like, it's just
you
not
were
a.
the basketball.
Yeah, I
of this whole
was.
room.
So
You're the
I can
basketball
say that.
It was the way I worded the question, though. It was like 2 and 1.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's
you-
good. Now we know.
And he was dumb enough to just
Yeah, I
outright
jumped right
answer.
into it. I was like, nah, swallow it back.
Word vomit.
Yeah, Doug. Yes or no question, or take a guess.
Okay, well, we know this person has nothing to do with basketball, and he is alive. Is this person an actor?
He is an actor.
Ooh.
All right, yes.
Good job,
Got us
Doug.
there. Woohoo.
All right, Katerina, you can either ask a yes or no question or take a guess at who the person is.
Okay. What is his, as an actor, what is his connection to basketball?
No, yes or no question.
Oh, yes,
Yes
or no
or no.
question. Okay, hold on. I'm working through it. okay. Hold on. Okay, so like,
Oh, I think I know.
has he been in any recent movies about basketball or not?
No. All right, Ricky, yes or no question for a clue or a guess. What was that?
He's thinking.
Is he over 50?
I do.
Oh,
See,
and
you're
Ricky.
the only one on a phone. So, but
I won't
if
lie.
this does help.
I Googled to make sure Larry Nance Sr. was the first.
The answer
slam dunk.
is yes, he is over 50.
It's my turn.
It's just a chat. It's just a chat. I just so I can see it better. Not
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I feel you. All right. Comes down now to our next round. So the next Wikipedia page is Larry Bird. Believe it or not, we're getting closer to the person.
No, I know. Is it Bill Murray?
Wrong.
Damn. Fuck, dude.
Wait,
I thought
can-
I had that.
can you-
I thought I had that so bad.
Wait,
I was thinking Space Jam so hard.
Oh!
I was thinking Space Jam
so
too.
hard.
See, I was too, but because the person didn't have to do with basketball, I was like, oh, well,
Bill
it's not
Murray has
Michael
nothing to do with
Jordan.
basketball, and then he was in a basketball
Yeah,
movie.
I forgot about Bill Murray in that.
Oh,
Oh,
because when
whoa.
he said actor, I was like, oh, I think it's Bill Murray.
That's not bad, though. I have to give you points on that one.
All right. I'm coming to you, Doug. You're going to ask a yes or no question or take a guess.
Doug, if you really don't have a person in mind, I would highly suggest asking another question.
That
Just for
would
like
only
everybody else in here.
He's
Like,
gonna
just for
keep
everybody-
shooting.
No, I just want us to
No,
get
no,
it.
no. I
want one of us
got
to
a
get it.
question. Wait, no, it needs to be yes or no. Was this person in a major film within the last 10 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I kind of asked the same question though, didn't I? Like
Did you?
recent is like the
Oh,
past
yeah.
5 or
No,
10
she
years.
asked it a basketball film. Had they
Oh,
been in a
so
major
this is
motion
not a
picture?
basketball film. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we're looking at Larry Bird. Okay, so we have one more
You know that
Wikipedia.
he's a man. You know that he does not play basketball. You know that he's an actor. Do you have any guesses, or do you want to ask a question for a clue?
Was Zac Efron? No, I'm just kidding. With High School.
Is that your guess?
No. Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes.
That's a no.
It's gonna be a no.
All right. Yeah, and over 50.
Over 50.
Yeah, I forgot about that piece too.
That's why I was
Yeah,
saying Bill
you
Murray.
should- All right, Ricky, you want to take a guess, or do you want to ask a question? You're doing a lot of math for
Is
people.
he black or white?
Ooh.
No, wait,
Oh,
no,
yes
you
or
gotta
no?
ask
Yes
a
or no?
yes or no
Sorry, yes or
questions.
no? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Is he black?
It's the gray, where I would say no, but boy, does he try.
And then help me. Go to the next. Go to the next Wikipedia.
I can't say no. Let's put it like that. He's definitely not black.
So he's mixed.
So
He's something,
So wait.
You just sounded
Just
like
he got
Borat.
that's a couple
Not.
negative.
right?
So he is.
He's not black.
All right, just go to
What
the
it-
next Wikipedia article.
Going to the next round. Trash talk. And then the next page takes you to the person. So, Will, before we get to our final
Let's do it
jab
on the
here.
Photo.
Sure.
Trash talk.
All right. Do you want to take a guess or ask a question?
Is it Will Ferrell?
It is not.
I was
Trash
thinking semi-pro.
talk.
I was thinking
That's-
semi-pro.
That's a good one. Doug, yes or no question or guess?
Larry
Gosh,
Bird, I guess he's
I
right.
really don't know at this point. Trash talk.
You guys aren't asking enough questions. You could have really built up
You're
a lot of
right.
clues here. A lot of selfish people trying to get
I mean,
the
can
win.
I phone a friend? Like, anyone got a
No,
question?
ask a question.
Anyone got a question for me to
What
ask?
could help you
Anyone?
develop an understanding? Think of a hole that you got. Try to fill it.
I mean, we got a man, we got over 50, not a basketball player, but an actor. How old is The Rock? I don't know. Ooh. All right.
Doug, stay on that thought of The Rock. Stay on it.
I do feel like, I don't know. I
Oh my God.
What are you going to do, Doug? Shit or get off the pot?
is this person a well, I guess you would call them a professional wrestler?
Yes.
Okay.
Woo. All right, it goes to Katarina. Katarina, I gave it to you. You want to take a guess? Or
Take it and run. I gave you the answer.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Let's go, team!
I didn't care about getting it. I just wanted
Oh,
us
yeah.
This is
to
a
get
team
it.
sport.
I've officially moved past winning. It's just like, let's
Teamwork.
guess this person.
Yes,
The instant you
it's
said
us
The
versus
Rock, I
Alex.
looked at him and his eyes, like, his pupils dilated, and I was like, Doug, stay on that thought right now.
See, I didn't see.
So how do you answer Ricky's question? Is he black? I don't know. What does he want to be? It depends on what political platform he's pandering to.
No, it was a good not double negative. But that
That was
was
a
just,
good one.
He's just not
Instead,
white.
I looked at Doug. I was like, either say The Rock or ask about wrestling. And then
Yeah.
he was like, wrestling.
Because
like,
I wanted us to win. That was all I cared about. So I was like, all right, this is going to solidify it.
I love Brad Richardson. Larry Bird was all 5 of those also.
dude, when I saw Larry Bird at first, I was like, Will Ferrell. You trash
Yeah, and
talk.
I'll be honest, I don't get the Larry Bird to Dwayne Johnson connection.
No,
I
it's
don't.
trash talk. It's
It went
trash talk.
Trash talk, Larry Bird, basketball, slam dunk.
Yeah, so it went from Larry Bird to trash talk, and Larry Bird was a phenomenal trash talker.
All right. So you guys want to do another round? You feeling up for it? All right. So
How many of these you had?
I technically have 3 queued up if we want to do them. So
Team effort, everybody.
starting off here with page 1. Again, we're 5 pages away.
So are we going back to me, or is Ricky going to lead this?
We'll
one
just
off?
keep. Yeah, let's go with Ricky because he did. We don't need
He didn't get that last chance.
the black at the back every time. Dude, you literally set the table. All right, I'm just.
All
I'm
right.
just
No, you're good. I fuck with you. So,
Ricky heard that and was just like, "That was a good one. That
yeah.
was a good one. That was a culturally
so-
good joke."
This one right
Wait,
Is
wait,
it a-
say that again.
here. Place.
No, it's just all. It's all a person. Could be
Oh,
dead.
all a
Could be
person, okay.
alive. They're not. I don't have any fictional characters here per se.
This time around.
Okay.
Do they enjoy chicken and waffles?
Oh my god.
I'm going to say on its surface, no. But to make this a beneficial clue question, what I will say is the person is of the pandering type enough to try to even pretend they did. They do. Like, it wouldn't be surprised. I would say stereotypically no, but I could see them going, oh, I'm one of them.
Dude, you want to know what this isn't my guess, but what really popped in my head was Hillary Clinton.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah,
That'd be a
just
good
really
one.
popped in my head. Okay,
Wait, hold on. Canarita had to step out for a second, so we're going to Doug.
no, it'd be me.
It
I'm
would be
after
You were
Will.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
and
then
Ricky
Ricky was
just
last.
went.
Right.
Remember, we're on.
Wouldn't it go in the reverse order? It would go Ricky, Katarina, dumbass,
Katarina
and Will.
We're
ended
just gonna
it.
go down the
Katarina
line.
ended it to win. So then we went to Ricky.
I thought we were just gonna
So
go.
now
down
we're
the
going
line.
back.
We're going
to Will.
from the back in reverse.
Oh, you
Oh,
are. Well, why don't we
okay.
just continue on with the order?
Well,
Since
because you got second choice. Like, it should
Okay.
go inverse. then.
Hey, it's your role. It's your
it's
your
your
game.
show,
You
but
pick
then
it.
what do you want to
That's
do
right.
then, guy?
Going to Doug.
Okay.
And when Katarina gets back, we'll add Katarina. A yes or no question or a guess. Ego.
That first question really didn't do us any.
Is
favors,
this
though.
person
I know.
a
Like chicken and
sports
waffles?
athlete?
Is this person a sports athlete?
An athlete.
Me and Will's test for a girlfriend. This girl has. Fuck, I'm bad at this.
Oh yes,
This
thank you.
person
I
has
was hoping
never-
I could get you to say that without making
This person
that a
has
question.
never thrown a ball in their life.
That would have saved me my next question.
Yeah, that
but,
was
like,
literally-
that
Damn.
definitely saved
I was
me my
thinking if I
question.
should ask if it's male or female, and I was like, maybe if I ask,
All
he'll
right.
get tricked again.
I
Katarina,
promise I'm
this person might be black, and also it is a
no,
girl.
stereotypically is not eating chicken and waffles.
Oh,
Might
sorry.
not be black.
Oh God.
And is a female. What was Doug's question again?
Sports athlete.
Yeah, never
then
thrown
you-
a ball in their life.
You flip.
So not an athlete,
Not-
actually,
and a
yeah.
female.
Before we
Okay.
go to Will, yes or question?
All right. So, is this person like an actor,
Actress.
actress?
Because we know it's a girl.
Oh, it's a
Just go
girl,
by
actress.
profession.
Yeah.
Would we? I will say they are in the arts, but they are not an actress.
But they're like a celebrity. So, okay. Something like
Is
that.
this person a politician?
You already answered,
No.
so that's fair.
Okay. This
All
person's
right,
not a politician.
not a politician, in the arts, may or may not like chicken and waffles, but stereotypically would not, and
Is a girl.
cannot throw a ball. Like, is not athletic.
It's a girl.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, it is. We know that.
All right, coming back to Ricky now. Let's go
I
to
know
our...
a bit you're doing, and it didn't work when you said she.
I know. Darn. All right, the next one is pancake. Working our way backwards.
Downtown, walking fast, hauling ass, and I'm on down.
You might sing this song.
Who's the model for the syrup bottles?
Aunt Jemima.
Is
that's
this
not real
person under 30? Is she under 30?
Right off bat, I say yes. I'm going to confirm. Answer, yes.
The fact that you had to Google it removed someone.
Yeah, right? It keeps it a little bit within a realm.
Yeah.
You might be able to hone in on that. All right, so we've got a general idea of age. Dougie, going to you.
So
Katarina ran out again. So.
under 30,
I gotta piss so bad.
not technically an actor, but not an athlete.
He's thinking.
I mean, I want to ask, are they famous? But they're famous enough to have a Wikipedia page, which means they're famous.
Good. That's a good starting point. That's a good. I would assume I'm picking something the room would know. In a general concept,
Is
at
this
least.
person a musician?
Yes.
Okay.
Carte blanche. Yes.
Okay, cool. That gets us there. That helps us.
All right. It's a musician, a female. Shit, whatever Ricky is.
Under 30.
Chicken and waffles.
Check waffles, baby.
Okay, under 30.
That is the most wild question, Ricky.
So what are you thinking?
We
Man.
found out they're a
You
panther.
go, so it'll buy you time.
No, I want to.
Okay, so yes or no question. Are they somebody we grew up watching, or
If the question is this someone we grew up watching? No.
Because they're under 30 and they're a musician.
okay?
And we are 30.
So, Wilbur,
Is she in a band?
in a very technical sense, no. It's a lone
So she's
artist.
more
You would go
known
to
as a
see
solo
this
artist?
person. Yeah, solo artist. Okay, so Ricky, coming to you then. You can now we got to go to page 3. This is gonna add another layer to the consideration. Getting closer. Carnival. So we went from Eggo to pancakes to carnival. All right, do you want to take a guess or do you want to ask a question?
Taylor Swift.
It's a very solid guess. That's a no. Doug, do you have a guess or a question?
we're already back to me, eh? I had an idea of a person, but they're over 30. It's a woman, musician, under 30, and we
Just knowing humans well enough that I associate with, Doug, you are the least likely to know this human in this room. That's
Okay,
a major clue I will give the room.
Did this person get popular / famous on TikTok?
Definitely.
Oh, there you go. That's
That's
why I
a
wouldn't know
major
them.
piece of it, too.
That is exactly why I wouldn't know them.
Well, I'm sure you may have heard a song or the name, but yes.
Okay, so
you're
I'll-
not in the zeitgeist enough to know this person.
I'll tell you the names that I'm debating at this current moment.
Well,
as I'm building up to my
See,
question.
Will's not here to be the one to tell.
All right,
here.
Will. So here's what I'm thinking before I build up and ask my question. I'm considering Megan Thee Stallion. I'm considering Rihanna. I think she's over 30 though, so I won't consider her. I'm considering Cardi
This
B.
person famous on TikTok, Will.
TikTok though. Cardi B.
Carnival.
Because they're all like,
No.
you know, Caribbean
She's
queens
older than
or
30.
like over 30. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they like chicken and waffles. They're a musician.
Again,
and
I'm doubling down. On its surface, you would think probably not.
maybe
Eat
that's
chicken
what's
and
throwing me off. I'm like, who loves chicken and
wait.
waffles? Who
So-
doesn't
Why
love
are
chicken
You
and
didn't
waffles?
Ask about chicken and waffles, Ricky.
Wait. Question. What did he ask and what did Ricky ask?
I asked.
Doug
if
asked, did TikTok make this person famous?
And the answer
Yes.
was okay. And Ricky, what did he ask?
He took a
I
guess.
guess Taylor
With.
Swift.
Not Taylor Swift.
And then I asked if we like grew up,
Taylor Swift's older
if
than
we
30.
grew up like listening or watching this person,
But this person's
or
under
something.
30, so
Right.
no.
So.
Yeah,
take a
but there's
guess
still
or
like
ask a
under 30
question.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we wouldn't have grown up watching. Someone.
yeah. Unless they were like child stars, right?
But TikTok wasn't around, so now
Good
we
point.
Know
Oh,
Guess what?
okay,
I did
yeah,
grow
yeah.
up listening to Miley
Wait,
that's-
Cyrus.
We
Wait,
did grow up
no.
watching
Whoa,
TikTok.
That's a
everybody-
good
Gee,
distinction,
oh my God.
Doug.
You don't even have TikTok.
Nope, and we didn't have it when we were
Another
kids.
clue I gave the
Good
room
point.
that you missed was Doug is probably the least likely to know who this person is.
And hence why I guessed TikTok or asked about TikTok.
Was
because-
she a TikTok dancer?
No.
Okay.
Okay, let's get to our fourth and final page before the big reveal. This is the closest to the person. Drag queen.
Oh, okay.
So,
I have no idea what to do with myself right now.
I know.
Nope.
I knew
It's
it.
a girl.
All right. I'm starting with Ricky. Do you want to ask a question or you want to take a
Oh.
guess? For people that know this person,
Oh, I
they
know.
know this is a huge
I know.
give.
I know. I think I know who it is.
Well, you're going to go last, mother.
No, I do think I know who it is.
You might.
Was this person sponsored by Bud Light?
No. And remember, they are, like, I'm telling you, selling out stadiums,
No,
a famous
I'm-
musician.
Fairly confident. I have an idea.
All
who
right,
this person
Douglas H. Slikey, this is your chance to put a pause on an addiction for a quick second. Take a guess with either a question, a yes or no question.
I would like
or-
to yield my time to the gentleman sitting next to you.
is. No. Hell no. I'm
Ask
going
a
last.
question.
Get out of that. But Doug, do you want to help me out?
Okay, give me a question to ask him.
This isn't my question.
Right. It's
No,
Doug's.
tell me
Doug's
what
question.
to ask him. It doesn't matter if I hear you say a question out loud. So just say what I
Just
should ask,
getting
Will.
Legal
It's a team-
semantics on my fun game.
Bro, I have
Well, I
another
lost,
guess.
so I don't even know.
I know.
what
I know.
to
I'm
ask
trying to help
you.
out. I'm trying to help.
Phone a friend, Will.
I thought you said you knew who it was.
Yeah.
I'm trying to word the question in a yes or no way without it being so direct.
That's the hard part.
So
It's
is
not-
is the
because-
first letter
because
of
I
the-
want the question even if it's like not 100% my guess to help Katerina and I.
right.
But the question I have is a direct song, so
Well, we could say, is this person's song? Yes or no.
ask him if this person wrote Pink Pony Club.
Did this
I doubt
person
it.
write Pink Pony Club?
I'm going to say I'm pretty confident yes.
Ooh.
Hold on, let me- Yes.
Let's go.
So does that help Katerina? Katerina?
Am I next?
Yeah, you're next.
Chaperone, baby.
Let's go, team.
Let's bring up
Woo!
Team.
Chaperone.
No idea who this
I know.
is.
It's like
That
Duncan
makes
has
sense.
no idea, even if she.
I don't know who that is.
No idea.
I love that Hall of Fame coach Gruden knows Chapel Roan and her music, and Doug doesn't. Pink
Wow.
Pony Club.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm not a weird ass pedophile like him.
Well, the drag queen thing
Thanks.
got
Now,
Just to be clear.
the drag queen thing got me, and I was like, shit. And then all of a sudden, I was like, wait, female
yeah.
singer.
Wait, who's
Oh,
the
okay.
famous female singer who
And
claims
then
to
I
be a
couldn't
drag
think
queen?
of her for a second. I was like, Okay,
Wait,
someone
who's
just
that
asked
trash
that
bin?
question.
Yeah. All right. Last one. This one's going to be a fun one, I think. All right. Could be dead. Could be alive. All I know is they're a human being.
Yeah, we should. Hey, the first questions we should ask right off the bat: are they alive?
Yeah, good point.
That would be a good. That would be a good
That's
way to
smart.
play the game.
Yeah.
In our defense,
You're like,
we're
you know,
2-0.
I guess I created it. That's what I was thinking. In
But
logical human.
we didn't need to ask if they were alive. We just needed to ask age.
I like how the first question.
Yeah, and I spill it.
I like how the
And I
first
spill
question
the
last
beans.
round was chicken and waffles.
Yeah, dude. First question of the game. Ego. Do they add?
I made it up. I made it up with the age.
Do they see waffle and think missing chicken?
Oh my god,
All right.
Dang. Never not.
that was so
All
funny.
right, now the power goes back to Ricky. We're going back in the inverse. We're going to go Will, Doug, Katarina, Ricky. Starting with page 1, 5 pages away from our special guest here, dew point. You know, the dew point, which is the temperature in the air that needs to be cooled to produce relative humidity of 100%. We're talking the dew point.
Is this person alive?
No.
Oh, okay. We got our first rotten corpse.
Our first rotten corpse. And I almost pronouned that my comment here. I stopped it. And they are rotten. They are rotting good.
That's just how they identify them.
That's how they identify. Well, you could try to ask them. Dougie Fresh, do you have a question or a guess?
Was this person a scientist?
I would say on its surface, no, but the person has been considered in scientific understandings before. They're not a scientist.
So not a scientist by study, but has been mentioned in studies.
I would say in correlation, but even then, far from science.
See, I would have guessed Bill Nye, but he's alive.
Yeah. But his soul is not.
Probably not after all those years of childhood science stuff.
Kicking it to Katarina. Do you want to ask for a clue or take a guess?
Is he from a country in Europe, like the UK, or just in general from Europe versus America?
They are American.
Okay.
At least to my understanding. I'm double checking to be sure.
Ricky, can you do us a solid and ask if it's a guy or a girl?
United States. Ricky, can you take a guess or ask a question?
Is it a male?
No.
Perfect. Thank you.
Real quick, Alex.
Yes.
Is Brad Richardson able to ask a question?
You could steal questions from him.
Okay, so we can steal, but we can't have
Right.
him ask. Okay.
Because he can't guess. If I could bring him in, one of these days we just got to give Brad Richardson a link. Let
Well,
the
you
dude
gotta-
just join us.
You got to think too. It's like it could be a scientist that like we all know of, but like I want to get more of these Wikipedia articles because we started off with Ego and ended up with drag queen.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't these fun?
So yeah,
It's
we started off
wild.
with basketball and got the most famous wrestler in history. So let's not like jump to conclusions.
Yeah,
immediately
don't
anymore.
jump to science.
I mean, I still stand by my Larry Nance guess was logical. All right.
Sure, Doug.
No,
Yeah,
but that was
we
us
gave you
learning the
kudos.
game. That was us like really
yeah,
figuring
no,
out the
then I
game.
learned I
And then the
shouldn't.
second time I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Doug, we're gonna have you ask this very specific question because I think I know who this is.
Wait, so now it goes to Doug. Doug, take a guess or ask a question.
All right. So,
Wait, no,
just
it'd
to
be my
confirm
You're
for
after
me
me.
here, Ricky asked, "Is it a male?" and you said no, right? So
It's a
that was his question. Okay, so it's a female, not really a scientist,
an American.
and an American, and dead.
You can ask what they think of watermelon.
Wait, don't you have to go to the next one?
No. We haven't done a row.
No, hang on,
Hang
hang on.
What was your question?
Mine is live or dead. Ricky's was man or girl.
Doug
His was
hasn't gone.
Europe, and then his I thought was scientist.
All right.
Next page. Will started it. I
You're
ended
right.
it.
I'm-
Wrong.
My brains. I was thinking in the last round when we were going in the inverse.
Right.
You're right. You went first.
So it should be my
So
turn.
let's do a new
Yeah.
page. All right, we're on page 2. So this is now 4 pages removed from this person. We're looking at
Wow.
humidity.
Dew point humidity. Okay.
So starting off with Will, ask a question or take a guess.
It's tougher when they're dead.
It is. Their whole story is written.
It defeats the purpose to even ask if they died recently, because
I'd answer it for you.
But it
No, I
wouldn't
know you
really
would.
help us, though. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like no one cares. We forget all the time.
That's dark, Will.
Was she a celebrity?
The person obviously is considered of celebrity status today because everybody knows the name. Everybody recognizes the person.
Okay,
At
she's
the
a
time,
recognizable name.
I would say,
Probably not.
yes, they were a celebrity, but not to the stratosphere that we look at celebrities today. It's not Michael Jackson in that type of like scope. It's
right.
the person was known. The person was credible in terms of recognizable. I mean, but
But now
definitely
she
I
dead.
wouldn't say like super.
But it's a name we
stratosphere.
recognize.
Yo, every person in this room knows this name.
Okay.
Every person in this room knows this. person.
So it goes to me.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did this person die by natural causes?
I'm gonna say yes. Let me see how this person died, and I will tell you. Died of natural causes, yes. Specifically, a series of strokes. Died at 87 years old.
Died at 87. All right, there we go. We got a little something extra there.
Kicking it to Katarina. Do you want to ask for a clue or take a guess?
I'm gonna ask for a clue because I cannot make guesses yet. Was oh sorry. So was she African American?
No.
Okay.
And now to Ricky. So, female.
So okay.
Died at 87 years old.
Female. Dead.
Not black. What else did we get out of this? Not a scientist. Kind of known. Not a giant celebrity, though. Do you have a guess or do you want to ask a question?
Did we grow up seeing this person on TV?
I like that
I will
question.
say it's a
one.
good question.
Good one, Rick.
I will say that we never crossed paths with this person on this planet, on this realm. They were at a totally different period than ours. How far off, I can't say. It could have been close, it could have been far, but we did not share this realm at the same time.
Okay.
All right.
So we got three more.
We got,
We got
two
two
more
more
in
to
the
reveal.
answer. So getting one more closer to away Earth made it even bigger.
Okay. Was she alive during our parents' lifetime?
Briefly, but yes.
So early 20th century.
Douglas H. Slikey, do you want to take a guess or do you want to ask for a clue?
I had someone in mind, but then Will's question changed that. If they briefly overlapped with our parents.
And she lived to 70.
87.
87, excuse me. So yeah, like for it to be briefly, think like early 20th, late 19th.
Anyone got any ideas here? I mean, come on, team.
not as like an individual, but I'm like thinking of questions.
I don't even know what to ask right now.
You guys are not good like truffle pigs. Like, think of what you
I'm
don't
not.
know and start sifting around where you have holes. Like,
I mean, well, our hints have been humidity and dew point and earth.
maybe the takeaway from down the Wike-Hole, the game, should be rely less on the wiki pages until you're getting like really close and focus more on the clues
Wait a minute.
you've
No,
developed.
she lived to 87. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I know, right? Like
I'm
keep
just thinking,
thinking,
I'm thinking of like trying to, like, I think of like famous women from that time, like that died tragically. Like literally Amelia Earhart.
but
like,
died
popped in my head.
natural
And
causes.
I was like,
though.
no, it died of natural causes.
Yep.
Like,
See,
women
that's
of
why I
life.
asked, because that would have opened
But a
up a
series of
whole other
strokes.
door.
Yeah, the strokes things doesn't help me.
Briefly overwrapped
Right.
with our parents. Woman, someone famous, Earth. Did this person have any importance to the United States military?
Let's just say
AKA USO shows, appearances. Was she drafted? Did she work on any projects? See, this is a good question because it's really open.
I'm Google searching. Did this person have any influence on the U.S. military? The answer is yes. This person had a significant influence on the U.S. military, particularly in the area of rehabilitation and support for a certain characteristic of servicemen. I'm not giving that piece because that would totally give it away.
I'm thinking, yeah.
Crazy. And I assumed that's what I mean when you say, like, is this person a scientist? My clue is they're not a scientist. They never did formal science. They've definitely been a major figure in the development of social structures today in an interesting way or whatever. Or whatever. I love this one. Rotator Bensberg. Nope. She does feel like she died forever ago.
Dude, I
She
remember-
was a dinosaur.
Dude, I was in the Appalachian, not the Adrian Beck Mountains the weekend that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, and that was the first notification that popped on my phone when I had cell service again. It was like RBG dead, and I was like, oh.
So Brad has a question. Is she a meteorologist?
But
Yeah.
we can, but that
Yeah,
has to
you either
count.
got to waste one of your questions on it, or
Okay.
and I think from what we've
Gathered.
learned, that's a wasted question.
So who is after me?
At this point.
Me, I think.
But like help rehabilitate people in the military.
Doug, that was a good question.
Thank you.
All right, so Katerina, you can either take a guess or ask another question.
Did this person do
Just
like
thinking about the period, it was during some sort of war. Like, you know, if it overlapped with our parents, but she died a while ago.
this person is like a government official or like served in the government in some capacity?
All I did was answer Doug's question, which was, did this person have an influence on the U.S. military? And I had said yes.
Okay.
She specifically
Oh.
had something to do with rehabilitation of a certain type, is what Alex gave us.
That as well.
Was she like an iconic or like image of some type of movement or like mission? Like for example, like how the one lady that you can do it, like that type of thing. Was she like an image or an icon for some type
say
of movement?
She's definitely an icon for people. She's an icon for, I don't know about a movement, but definitely a protected class. Ricky, coming to you before we go to our last round of clues and guesses. Do you want to take a guess? Do you want to fish for another clue?
Does she like chicken and waffles?
Did she serve in World War II?
Okay, that's giving us a time period, so not a bad question, Ricky. Well, you just gotta
based
look
on the
for-
age potentially.
But also right after World War II was Korea, so
Yeah, but based on Alex's kind of response, I don't
But
think she
about
served in
serving
any
the military and
capacity.
Yes,
rehabilitation.
this person was actively involved during World War II, albeit in a different capacity than directly participating in combat. Visiting wounded veterans,
USO girl,
advocating for
essentially.
this type of veterans, supporting. Yeah,
a USO girl
sure.
is my guess.
Wait. Wait. Stop. Who asked this question?
Ricky.
Ricky did.
It's my turn.
Okay.
It's gonna be my turn.
So you got the answer. You got the clue. Let's now go to our last page before the big reveal. My question for you is, Will, world peace, do you want to take a guess or ask for a clue? And if we go through and nobody has still guessed it, we're going to do one last round of guesses.
Okay. And I kind of want to put it out there as a clue, but I don't want to ask a question.
Well, you got to pick something.
Doug, help me out here.
Yes.
Thanks. I'm trying to word it without like that being my answer. Wait a minute.
I think the thing I'm learning about this game is I need to keep time limits in how long you have.
Yeah, but it's getting harder. Like this is definitely harder than the first two was for us.
This is probably a random question. It might do us no favors, but I think I kind of have an idea of it. Was this person a nun?
No.
Okay. Completely removes who I think it would be.
Okay. No help to me then, Will.
No, I knew. I knew, but like I was thinking Mother Teresa.
Sure.
Like
Was she
when I saw the world
American?
peace, but I don't know if she was American.
So, Doug, ask a clue or take a guess.
Uh
I just confirmed, not a nun.
Thanks. That's why I was. And I knew Mother Teresa
Okay,
forever, but I was like, I don't know if she's American.
was
I had to Google just to be sure.
was this person a nurse during World War II?
Okay. Nurse is a vague enough term that I would say probably yes. No, this person was not a nurse.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a guess.
Please.
Audrey Hepburn.
Not it.
An actress.
But
Dang it!
it's a strong guess. I could appreciate it.
Thought she did science too at some point.
So, Ricky, last chance.
I'm gonna guess as well.
All right.
Marilyn Monroe.
No.
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 I know who it is.
All right. We're going to do one last round before the big reveal. Take a guess.
All right, so Will.
Will?
Is it Margaret Thatcher?
No.
Ooh. No, because US, we know this person was in the US, Will, or is of US, and Margaret Thatcher, UK.
Last guess, Doug.
Prime Minister of the UK, Will.
Yep. Doug, last guess. It's going to frustrate you all once you get the reveal. Take a guess. Or you're just gonna lose
Was
it.
this woman related to?
I have a better question.
Okay.
Well,
tell
no,
me
you get
what
to
it is.
guess.
Yeah, tell me what.
We're on the last bit. This
Yeah,
is
so
the
tell
last
me what
leg.
you think, and then I'll decide if it's better than mine.
That's fine. I think it's Helen Keller.
I thought that too, but she has no relation to World War II, Will.
But it wasn't. No. I think you're thinking too literally a relation like that. Think disabilities. I'm thinking like disabilities. Like she's not an active service member woman at any capacity. Like,
Talking to the mic.
I don't think this woman.
Oh
Literally,
my God, yes, Will. Oh my God, I Googled her. She died at 87. So you know what? I'm going to guess it's Helen Keller.
Is it Helen Keller?
It's Helen Keller.
Wow! I would not have guessed that.
Helen Keller!
It's when I said
I don't
Thatcher.
know fucking know.
Yo,
Like,
hips.
there's another. I'm thinking late, and I forgot that bitch lived forever.
No, I Googled it, and I used AI, and I found Helen Keller on a list of stuff, but it said she had no relation to World War II. So I was thinking too literally. So when you mentioned that, I was
No.
like, well,
And Alex always kept it vague enough to be like, sure, but like, no. And it's like, no. She actually wasn't in the military by any capacity. It was probably the
but
shit.
again, she helped for disabled
Was she
people.
active in World War II? She was actively involved during World War II. She did visiting wounded veterans,
Yes, she did. Yep.
advocating for blinded veterans,
Yep.
and supporting the American Foundation for the Blind.
But I always think, for some reason, I always think Helen Keller. It was like in the early 1800s. I
Well,
always think she
you
was
know what's
fucking-
funny is
born-
I'm
she was
sitting here-
born in 1880, Will.
I'm sitting here trying to say, no fictional characters, and half the world believes Helen Keller never even
And
existed.
then all of a sudden, I thought of it, and I was about to ask Doug. I'm like, dude, Doug, ask if it's like.
No, Will.
I
No,
wanted,
I'm so glad
I was
you
gonna.
did.
You want to know what my
I
question
wanted
was?
Doug to fight you, and it's not Helen Keller. I was sitting here like, oh, this is good.
No, I knew he was gonna be reasonable enough to be like, no, Doug, I get what you're saying.
No,
Too
as soon
literally
as
on
you
the
said,
World War
I'm
I.
thinking too literally. I was like, you're right, Will, because
Yeah.
she
I was
would
like,
have
no,
been
no,
during
this-
this period.
This is the instant. Honestly, your question, her not being like a nurse, I was like, okay, she's not a medic. Like she's
Right.
actually not serving.
My
the
next
military by any-
question would have been, did this person visit the White House? And she has. And because she was on my short list. So like that would have like got me there. Will saved us that
and
whole
for
step.
me, the thing was too. My question I was going to have Doug ask, but then I knew we were discussing. I was going to be like, do women use her as like they don't believe she's real as a Hinge profile?
Hey, that
As
would have
like
been
a
a
person,
yes.
and that would have been like the Chappelle Roan one. I'm like, okay, it's Helen Keller.
You know what I can appreciate? Even though a majority of the game, you all felt lost in the abyss.
The first three,
Every time you got it.
the first three Wikipedia pages, it totally was like, how the fuck am I going to get Helen?
Yeah,
and then the world
yeah.
peace one, I was like, well, I know the bitch couldn't
Dude,
see her
it
talk, but,
started
like,
with Dew Point.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
went
how-
from Dew Point to
can you-
Helen Keller.
Can you explain how you got from
Oh,
2
it's just-
points to
he's
Helen
Sure,
Keller?
let's do this specific one. So you start at the Helen Keller page. Look there. I clicked World Peace.
Oh, I like how you highlighted those. Nice.
So that World Peace takes you to Earth. So then I went from Earth to
And then I was an idiot, even though Margaret Thatcher isn't from America. She died within the last like 2 decades.
Earth.
So I was
Earth's land hemisphere. Most of Earth's land is at least somewhat humid and covered by vegetation. So then I took it to, I clicked humid. Humid takes me to humidity. Humidity then finally takes me to dew point.
like, yeah. For me, it was
That's the fun of this whole game is
For
you
me-
end up on Mars when you started in your backyard.
for me, it was like after I said Thatcher, I was like, she's not American.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I
Well,
don't think she's
immediately
American.
I did.
Doug wanted to make sure we didn't leave that point.
Oh, yeah.
You silly
Margaret
goose.
Thatcher was Prime Minister of England. Damn it! Come on, Will.
I'm just for the sake of everybody leaving to this evening feeling good. If we had a pop quiz at the beginning of this bitch and they were like, "Tell me who Margaret Thatcher is," I didn't know and I didn't care to know, Doug. That's where I'm
The
at.
only reason why I knew I was wrong is
didn't
like I
know.
knew I was like, wait, I was alive when she died.
Like,
I was like, that's how I knew. I was like, no. And then I was thinking overlap with my parents, and I was like, I mean, maybe Helen Keller, because my dad's older. My dad's 54. My mom's 61.
Yeah, you said she left. What? When did she die?
she died in like the
67,
60s.
so there was like
68.
68. So
But
there was
I always think
8
she's,
years
I
old.
always, because people don't think she actually existed, I always think she's like, no, she was Civil War era. Like, she was like, that,
Well,
during
dude,
that
have you
time.
guys ever noticed at Cedar Point, there's a building with a plaque, historical plaque, because Helen Keller did some sort of speech or seminar there for
How did she
deaf
speak?
women. Whatever. But she did some sort of event there for other like deaf women and stuff.
Couldn't even say
Yeah,
that.
I don't know.
Couldn't even hear it.
But at Cedar Point, there is a plaque dedicated to Helen Keller at some old building inside the park grounds. And every time I walk past
Dude,
it,
it
I go,
really is
why
a
did she come here?
It really is a
demon
shame
wop.
that they never put her on the top throw. She would have had no idea what was going on.
No. Put her on the new put her on the new tilt coaster they have. That would probably make her shit her pants.
That would have been awesome.
Demon Dwap. Demon Dwap.
She wouldn't even know what that is.
No.
Like, she couldn't even hear. She'd just be like,
All right, we want you to go on this ride.
That's because she talks with her hips. Remember?
That is so true.
That's a
I've
win
heard that
right
in a
there.
song. That is. That's a perfect
I'm
win.
glad we got all three. That was really pissing me off the last one.
See
Yeah,
what
this one was hard.
what a fun little game to close out the episode. So, since we got him on the screen, first, Ricky, it's not that you're just not afraid. Show him the whole shirt. The guy's not
What
afraid
else?
to rethink.
Wow.
That's right.
Yes.
Fresh as fuck. All right. So, Ricky, tell the folks where they could find you.
Just another DTV anywhere other than your mom's underwear.
Better not find you there, man.
Because I'm there. We appreciate you guys joining us. Got to thank Katarina in Cat's Corner. Be sure to go find her on social medias. And guys, we appreciate you joining us. We go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Shout out to Brad Richardson and the rest of the folks that joined us in the comments. The whole purpose. We even saw Nicolette and some of the others that chimed in. Some of the special aspects of the live show is to get you involved. That's the whole reason we do it. We want to have as much perspective and nuance that we can add to the dialogue, and we appreciate you enhancing that for us. Like I said, we're going live, but I also have been working extra hard to be backlogging a whole series of podcasts. I'm going to be excited to be releasing those starting the first Thursday in July, and you'll be able to follow that throughout July and August. So with that being said, with all these different shows, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we had the funny little Barbie AI. We've got some really great, hilarious clips to start off your Sundays, and that's on our Rethink Actions channel if you're looking to get a little bit of a break from the chaos and have some laughs. But you can find it all in one central place, and that's at our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. So again, if we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do to support what we're doing today is like this video, share, subscribe. Like, again, if you take this link and spread it around, if you liked it, that means someone else you know will too. So be sure to share it because that's what helps us with what we're doing here. But otherwise, guys, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll catch you on the next week. Peace.